Rain hammered against the towering glass windows of the banquet hall as laughter echoed inside. Sharp, cruel, familiar. The class of 2015 reunion had begun, and beneath the glossy decorations and perfectly posed photos, something darker stirred. They had sent that invitation not out of kindness, not out of nostalgia, but as a joke. A cruel reminder of the hierarchy they once lived by. They wanted the loser to return, the girl with thrift store clothes, second-hand books, and silence that made her invisible, so they could laugh one more time. What they didn't expect, what none of them could have predicted, was the thunderous roar of rotor blades cutting through the night sky. Heads turned, voices hushed, and disbelief spread like wildfire. A helicopter, sleek, black and gleaming with power, descended outside the venue. The doors opened, and she stepped out. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and seeing people rise stronger than ever, please take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. Her name was Ava Reyes. Back then, nobody said it with respect. She was the quiet one, the charity case, the girl who smelled like old books. In the hallways of Northview High, her greatest crime was being different. She ate lunch alone behind the gym. She walked with her eyes down because every time she dared look up, someone smirked or whispered. They mocked her clothes, her cheap backpack, even the bruises she tried to hide. Bruises she'd earned not from clumsiness like she claimed, but from a home that offered more survival than love. Yet despite everything she endured, she graduated with honors. She dreamed of designing technologies that could change lives. But dreams were hard to hold when the world kept trying to crush you. The night they tossed her homework into the toilet, she had cried silently, gripping the sink, telling herself that someday she wouldn't just escape, she would soar. They laughed when she said she'd be successful one day. The world loved to doubt those who had nothing, and now here she was, arriving by air. She stood at the entrance of the hall, no longer hunched or timid. Her dress shimmered, elegant and perfectly tailored. Diamonds sparkled against her throat. Her once rough hair now cascaded in glossy waves. Confidence radiated from her like she had swallowed the stars themselves. Even the air seemed to pause around her presence. Inside, the laughter died. Ava's former classmates were frozen in disbelief. Melissa Hayes, the queen bee who once tripped her in the cafeteria for fun, Tyler Brooks, who called her trash every chance he got, and Damian Scott, captain of the basketball team, who cruelly spread rumors about her simply because she turned away his unwanted attention. They had planned a show, a spectacle, but they were not ready to be the ones watching. People whispered her name now with awe and nerves, because nothing is more terrifying to a bully than the success of the one they tried to break. As Ava walked into the hall, her heels clicked like a countdown. She remembered every humiliation, every night she cried into her pillow, praying for a different life. But she also remembered the kindness of a few, her best friend from childhood, Lily, who moved away and lost touch, her elderly neighbor who taught her how to code when she couldn't afford internet, the library that became her refuge, her sanctuary. She had built her empire quietly, away from judgment. Ava Reyes, CEO of a groundbreaking tech company, Forbes 30 Under 30 innovator, philanthropist, helping foster kids access education. A woman sculpted by survival and sharpened by ambition. The reunion had been meant as a joke, but the punchline had changed. As she walked in, someone finally found the courage to speak. Melissa forced a tight smile, trying to restore power to her voice. Ava? Wow, we didn't expect you. Of course they didn't. People like them never expect the ones they step on to stand back up. Ava smiled, a small, calm curl of strength. She would not give them tears tonight, she would give them truth. She moved through the room, observing the remnants of their once perfect lives. Some were already tired, worn out by choices made too fast, dreams that faded after high school glory evaporated. Many had peaked at 18. She had only just begun. She saw Tyler clutching a cheap beer, laughter forced and empty. A memory of him throwing her backpack into a puddle flashed through her mind. Back then, he thought she had nothing. Tonight, she realized he still had nothing. Conversations restarted, but only to pretend confidence. They asked her what she did, and when she answered, their smiles faltered. They talked about their jobs in mid-level offices, their bills, their compromises. They did not ask how she endured, because a part of them already knew she had endured them. As the evening unfolded, whispers turned to regrets. Ava stood before the stage during the recognition portion of the event. Damien, who was hosting, read out achievements with a robotic cheerfulness until he reached her name. His voice cracked as he listed her accomplishments, realizing slowly that the girl he once mocked could now buy and sell everything he owned. And she had done it without turning cruel. For all the pain they caused her, she didn't come here for revenge. She came to reclaim her story. The crowd applauded nervously as she walked to the microphone. Ava looked out at the sea of faces, some ashamed, some resentful, some silently cheering her on. She took a deep breath. She spoke of the girl she once was, the girl who ate alone, the girl they laughed at, the girl they never truly saw. She told them that success wasn't about proving the bullies wrong. It was about proving yourself right. She reminded them that kindness, even a small moment of it, can save someone. But cruelty, that can follow a person forever. Her voice didn't shake, because she no longer feared being heard. As she spoke, a few lowered their eyes. For the first time, they felt the weight of what they had done, not to a stranger, but to someone who was once just a kid wanting to belong. And then, something unexpected happened. Melissa stepped forward. Her voice broke, not with fake emotion, but with years of guilt. Her perfect makeup could not hide the cracks. She apologized, not to impress others, not because of envy, but because she had carried the knowledge of her wrongdoing like a shadow, and today the light was too bright to hide from. Ava listened. She didn't hate Melissa. She didn't need to. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it frees the future. Then others approached, apologies spilled, not excusing cruelty, but admitting it. The reunion became something else entirely, not a show of superiority, but a reckoning. Ava accepted their words, not because they deserved forgiveness, but because she deserved peace. Later in the evening, as music filled the room, Ava stepped outside to breathe. The helicopter gleamed nearby, waiting. But her heart wasn't focused on the luxury. It drifted instead to the sky, vast, open, limitless. She realized she wasn't alone anymore, not truly. There were people now who respected her, admired her, wanted to learn from her story, but most importantly, she respected herself. She thought about the girl behind the gym, the girl who once believed she didn't matter, the girl who almost gave up. If she could reach back in time, she would hold that girl close and whisper, "You survive this, and you rise so high they can't look down on you anymore." Footsteps approached. It was Damien, the one who had once thought power came from cruelty. He apologized quietly, a man stripped of pride. He confessed that his bullying came from fear that someone smarter, someone stronger might show what he lacked. Ava nodded. Some truths hurt, but facing them was the first step to healing. She wished him well, and in that moment, she felt something she never thought she would feel toward those who hurt her, compassion. Because when you win, you don't have to stomp on others. You just keep climbing. The rain had stopped. The air smelled like a brand new chapter. Ava turned back toward the hall, toward the life she built, not despite them, but beyond them. And for the first time in her life, she felt like she belonged everywhere. If this story touched your heart or reminded you of the power of resilience, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. Together, we can spread kindness and hope to those who need it. Special request, comment below. Never underestimate a quiet heart. Your words might inspire someone who is silently fighting their own battles. Ava stepped into the helicopter once more. As it lifted into the night sky, she watched the world below shrink smaller and smaller, until the past was just a tiny dot fading into darkness. And ahead of her, only the stars. Thank you for reading. Would you like another powerful story with a new theme and twist?